All right. So in problem number 8, it states Jody has a height of 1.76 meters and lives in a city where the average height is 1.60 meters and the standard deviation is 0.19 meters. Leah is 1.81 meters and lives in a city where the average height is 1.70 and the standard deviation is 0.14. Identify which of the two values, identify which of the two values, mainly Jody and Leah, is considered to be taller compared to their fellow citizens. Explain your reasoning. In short, we compute a z-score for both Jody and Leah, right? If you want to compare relative standing, you use z-scores. And the formula for z-score states, in plain English, data value minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. Equivalently, that's just saying x minus mu, which is your population's mean, divided by standard deviation, which is defined as little sigma. That's your population's standard deviation, okay? Now, in this problem, because we're comparing Jody to Leah, how many z-scores do you think we're going to be computing? You have to compute 2 z-scores, okay? So I'm going to call the first one z Jody, and I'm going to call the second one z Leah. Now, when you read the problem, it's important to note that you identify all your values. For example, when we looked at Jody, they gave us 3 numbers. They give us her height, they give us the average for her city, and the standard deviation. Okay, so the average height is your mean. That will be 1.6 or 1.60. So that goes minus 1.60. Her height is the actual data value, which is x. So it's 1.76 divided by your standard deviation of 0.19. Okay. On the other hand, for Leah, she had a height of 1.81. So that's my x. The average height was 1.7. And the standard deviation was 0.14. All right, so we have to compute both of them separately. So let's start with Jody. First, you subtract the numerator, 1.76 minus 1.60, and you're going to get 0.16. So it's 0.16 divided by 0.19. So can I get a volunteer? Can somebody enter this in the calculator? Yeah. If you round this to 2 decimal places, yes. Z-scores are always rounded to 2 decimal places. So if you round it, you will get 0.84. Now for Leah, it's 1.81 minus 1.7, which is 0.11 divided by 0.14. So what's 0.111 or 0.11, sorry, divided by 0.14? Or get rounded to 2 decimals. It should be, if you round it to 2 decimal places, it should be 0.79. Right? If we just do it in my calculator here, 0.11 divided by 0.14 is 0.785. So the 5 tells the 8 to become a 9. All right. All right. So we have the z-scores for Jody and Leah, and we're comparing their heights. We're trying to see who's taller compared to their fellow citizens. So the people that lives, citizens-wise, means people that lives in their city. So who's taller? Who do you think is taller? Jody. That's right. So we say Jody is taller because her z-score indicates a higher relative standing compared to Leah. Here's why the z-scores is helpful. You see, both of your data sets, by the way, you could have looked at it using a number line. Okay. What I might have to do, however, let's see, do I have room? Let's see if I can squeeze it here. Sorry, I have to zoom in just to squeeze it. I'll after I pause the video, I'll allow you guys to recopy. Okay, so let's first look at Jody, right? So here is the first city, and this is, I'll call it city A. This is where Jody lives. Okay. So what was the mean for Jody for city A where Jody lives? The mean was what value? 1.60. So the 1.60 is located at the center. Okay. Now, what was Jody's height? 1.76. So let's say somewhere around here. Okay. Now, this was in terms of x, the variable x. You see, when you convert x to z into a standard z-score, the mean value of 1.6 now becomes 0. Now, for Jody, her z-score value was 0.84. Okay, so that's the situation with Jody. Now, with Leah, sorry, I'm gonna zoom back out a little bit. So Leah now, we'll call this city B. What was the average height in Leah's city? Say again? What was the average height in the second city? 1 point? No, 1.81 is actually Leah's height. 1.70 is the city's average. Right? So the average is located in the middle. And then for Leah, it was 1.81. All right. So now when you convert this in terms of a z-score, right, this was in terms of x. If you convert it in terms of z, what you now have, mean is still located at the center, so that's 0, but we have a new z value of 0.79. Okay, so when you look at your z-scores now, you get an idea of who has the better relative standing, right? Leah's number essentially is higher, albeit slightly higher than, Jody's height is slightly higher than Leah. Okay. This is something that you're going to see when you're going to start working with the normal distribution, the bell-shaped curve, when you get into chapter 6 of your textbooks. Okay.